Let us now write a algorithm to calculate electricity bill or electricity charges based on the power consumption. That means the problem given to us is to calculate electricity bill based on the number of units consumed. So this is the problem given to us. So the first question is, how can you calculate the number of units consumed? The number of units consumed is equal to the present reading minus previous reading. So this is how we calculate the number of units. So present reading, for example, 1000 units is the present reading, minus previous reading is suppose 500. So 1000 minus 500. The total number of units consumed now will be 1000 minus 500, that is 500. So after calculating the number of units consumed, we have to decide on the bill. So the government has given certain limits or certain conditions. Based on that, we have to calculate the power bill. So what are the conditions given? If the number of units less than or equal to 100, then the bill or charges bill is equal to 0, or I can say charges is equal to 0. That means for weaker sections in India, if they are consuming up to say 100 units, say 50 units, 70 units, or up to 100 units, they need not to pay single paisa. So that part I am taking like this. If units less than or equal to 100, then bill will be 0. And another thing is units up to 300 units. Then they are saying you have to pay rupees 5 for each unit consumed. So suppose a person has consumed 200 units, he has to pay 200 into 5 rupees, that is 1000 rupees he has to pay for electricity bill. And another condition is units up to, suppose 500 I am taking, units up to 500, then the rate per unit is 10 rupees, so 10 per unit. This is up to 500 units. If anybody consumed more than, that means above 500, more than 500 units, then the charge will be 12 rupees 50 paise per unit. So based on these parameters or based on these conditions, we have to calculate the electricity bill. So these are the conditions given to us. So let me keep these conditions at this side, and we will develop our algorithm. So in the algorithm, the first step will be start. So we are starting the algorithm. So this is the first step. In the second step, we want to calculate number of units consumed, but this is based on present reading and past reading. So you have to ask the user what is the previous reading and what is the present reading. So input previous reading and input present reading. So once these two are known to us, we can calculate the number of units consumed. So units is equal to present reading minus previous reading. So this is the way you have to calculate the number of units. Now based on the number of units and based on the conditions given by the government, we have to calculate the electricity bill. So how we can do this? If the number of units less than or equal to 100, that means up to 100, there is no charge or no bill. So I am writing bill is equal to 0. So here I am writing something like this. If units less than or equal to 100, then bill is equal to 0. Else if otherwise units less than or equal to 300, that means up to 300 units, how to calculate bill? So you can calculate bill something like this. Bill is equal to number of units consumed into 5 rupees per unit. So you can write into 5. Else if, that means otherwise, if the units are less than or equal to 500, then how to calculate the bill? Number of units into 10 rupees we have to take. Otherwise, that means otherwise means if units are greater than 500, then bill should be calculated like this: units into per unit 12 rupees 50 paise. So total number of units into 12 rupees 50 paise per unit. So total bill you will get. So this is how you calculate the electricity bill. And then in the next step, I want to display the bill or print the bill. Then our problem is solved. So I can write a stop statement. This is the logic or algorithm to calculate electricity bill. Now let us convert this algorithm into a Python program. I am opening a Python guide and file, new file. I am opening a new fresh page where I can type my program. Hash symbol represents the aim of the program to calculate electricity bill. This is our aim. We want to calculate electricity bill. And in the algorithm, the first step and the last step are ignored while converting the algorithm into a program. So I am not taking a first step. I am starting with the second step. Input previous reading. So I can write like this: previous is equal to, let us assume this is an integer type reading. So input. So enter previous reading. So enter previous reading. Here input function will display previous reading, and whatever the reading you are entering, it will take that reading and convert that reading into integer number. Why? Because input function always takes anything as a string. That string is converted into integer and then that integer is stored into this previous variable. Similarly, present is equal to int of input of present reading. So present reading, you are asking for the present reading, and whatever the reading user enters, that is taken by input function as a string, and then that string is given to int function. Int function will convert that string into integer, and that integer number is stored into present variable. Now let us calculate the total number of units consumed. So units is equal to present minus previous readings. So this is how you calculate the number of units. If you want, you can display this number of units consumed. So number of units consumed is equal to comma units. So what this print function does is it will display number of units consumed is equal to, then after that it will display the total number of units consumed. Fine, we got the number of units. Now based on these units, we have to calculate the bill. If the total number of units less than or equal to 100, there is no bill for this. That means bill is equal to 0. Elif means else if. Please remember, in Python, whenever you are writing elif, this represents combination of else plus if. So else plus if is written as elif. So I can write elif, that means else if units less than or equal to 300 colon bill is equal to. How to calculate bill? If units are less than or equal to 300, that means up to 300 if you are taking the units, then per unit 5 rupees charge. So what I have to do is number of units into 5 rupees. This is how you calculate the bill. Elif, otherwise if units are up to 500 colon, please remember in Python after the condition, else if condition, after the condition we have to use colon. Bill is equal to units into up to 500 per unit to 10 rupees charge. So units into 10. Okay, if anybody consumed more than 500 units, then what? That means last thing is else bill is equal to number of units into 12 rupees 50 paise they have to pay per unit. So number of units, how many units they consumed into per unit charge, that gives you total charge or total bill into bill. So this is how you implement if condition. If this condition is true, bill is 0. Elif means else if this condition is true, then bill will be calculated as number of units into 5 rupees. Else if this condition is true, then bill will be calculated as number of units into 10 rupees per unit. Else otherwise means above 500 and it may be 1000, 1500, 2000. The bill will be calculated as 12 rupees 50 paise per unit. So units into 12.50. So the total bill amount is coming into bill variable. Let me display that. So print, I can say total bill is equal to rupees comma bill amount you have to display. Bill amount you have to display. So this is our program. File, save. I'm saving my program. My program name is e-bill. I can give any name to my program. So e-bill, that means electricity bill. And I'm saving this program in E drive as a Python file. Then click on save, saved. Now run the program. So run module. So here we are having some invalid syntax. Why? Because here we have forgotten to put colon after else. See, whenever you are writing if condition colon, elif condition colon, elif condition colon, after that you write the statement, then else. So last else, whenever you are writing else, you have to write colon also here. So else colon, the statements you can write. So once again save this program. Why? Because whenever you make modifications, you must save it. So run module. It is asking me to enter previous reading. Suppose previous reading is 12,000. Enter present reading. Present reading is 12,242. So please observe now. Number of units consumed 242, because present reading minus previous reading, that gives you 242. Now total bill 1210 rupees should be paid. Why? Because 242 he consumed means it is above 100 and below 300. Then per unit 5 rupees. So 242 into 5. That's what you will get here. So this total bill 1210 rupees should be paid by the consumer.